Moncrief on Newstalk.
Now, a university in the UK has just completed a course that is thought to be a world's first, a master's degree in Panto. Jefferson Parlett just graduated and joins us now. Jefferson, good afternoon and congratulations.
Oh, yes, I did, Sean.
Oh,
Thank
yes,
you so
did.
much.
I was going to try avoiding doing that or, saying he's behind you or any of that kind of stuff.
Well, believe it or not, I'm actually getting in trouble if I don't do it. So I thought it was best that I got it in today.
Respect. Okay, fair enough. Is that part of the course? Things like that must be included in a panto?
Yes, it is. I mean, part of the course, we looked at sort of the pantomime techniques and tropes and looking at sort of stock routines, and the "oh yes he is" and "he's behind you" is a staple element of pantomime.
Right, okay. And does panto also has to be kind of a set amount of stories? There's almost like a core curriculum of panto stories, or can you kind of be a bit more creative in regard to that?
That was the best part of the course because it was the world's first, and we were looking at sort of what we could do to contemporize it and contextualize it. We looked at playing around with different stories. So obviously you've got the traditional Cinderella, Dick Whittington and Jack and the Beanstalk. We looked at other stories which we could potentially do. I mean, we looked at Pinocchio, which is now fast becoming a popular pantomime to put on. As long as you've got the elements of the pantomime, those traditional components, you could sort of turn any story into one, really.
Yeah. Who taught you on the course? Because it was the first masters in panto, so nobody lecturing you would have a masters in panto by definition.
No. So we were very fortunate to be led on the course by Richard Cheshire, who has a vast amount of experience playing a pantomime dame. He's been in the industry for a long time.
Yeah, and there was only 4 of you doing this course, is that right?
There was, yes. What was great about that was not all of us want to be on the stage as performers. One was a professional photographer who did the course for fun. Laurie on the course, she wants to go into directing, so was actually looking on the other side, the mechanics of directing a pantomime. And Becky is a BSL interpreter, so she's looking at ways of how she can develop theatre productions, incorporating BSL and making it accessible for audiences.
Yeah. And as I understand, you did then make a production or put a production together that did incorporate sign language.
We did, yes. So as part of our final module, the university gave us a budget and we got to write, direct, produce and perform our own pantomime and took that around local communities in Staffordshire. And we chose Robinson Crusoe, which we turned to Robinson Crusoe, which is the Welsh word for welcome, because our aims and our missions and value statements was inclusivity and making it suitable for all, no matter what walk of life and what background you are.
Right, okay. You could argue, actually, that the panto has always been, because, as you mentioned there, the dame, that it's always been kind of inclusive, really. It's been playing with gender roles for hundreds of years.
I was exactly in that state of mind thinking, well, that is inclusive anyway, but actually having done the research and being fortunate to be part of the first ever pantomime symposium, which was a big discussion on equality and gender and representation, there was actually a lot more to it. And actually there's a lot more we can do to, I suppose, to be more inclusive and more diverse and celebrate multicultural societies.
Right, yes, of course. Now, as I understand it, you were an actor before you went on this course.
I trained as an actor and a singer, but I've been very lucky to have some TV roles and sung on cruise ships all around the world, but pantomime was the first love. And I just wasn't getting seen for an audition. So when the course came up in the stage newspaper, the actors newspaper, I had to grasp the opportunity.
Yeah, and what was going on, do you think, that you weren't getting seen for roles in pantos?
I don't know, Sean, because I get told I'm a funny-looking bloke and that I'll be perfect for panto. So I couldn't quite understand what was going on. Every time I saw a panto, I would wait stage door and meet all the actors and speak to the actors and ask them how they got involved. And back then, there was no training. There was certainly no masters. There was no workshops, and traditions were sort of orally passed down and learnt on the job, which was great. But how'd you get there in the first place? It was notoriously very difficult. And I think there's such a quick turnaround to put a pantomime on stage that producers tend to use people they've worked with before and skilled performers. But this course was sort of like the key to the door, really. And I've been very lucky to meet some of the biggest producers of pantomime in the country.
Yeah, it's that old thing. You can't do the job unless you've got the experience. You can't get the experience unless you've done the job already. So it's kind
exactly
of a vicious circle for you. So having a master's degree, do you think that'll help? Might it put people off? They'll be expecting some guy smoking a pipe wearing a tweed jacket who's going to come in and give them lectures about how they used to do it in the Middle Ages.
Well, I'm hoping that this it's been the perfect sort of key to the door to meet producers, get into the audition room, show them what I can do with all of the skills that I've learnt, and with the course, hopefully inspire the next generation of pantomime artists and stars. And even if that doesn't mean being on the stage, at least getting them to experience theatre for the first time, like pantomime is for a lot of kids.
Yeah.
It's their first experience. So just get them into the theatre and just get them to enjoy the creative arts.
And it wasn't Staffordshire University. It was the world's first, as far as we know. What kind of, to get on the course, was there any criteria? What did you have to have a degree in mime or something like that? Or could you be a biochemist and say, I want to do panto now?
It was purely you would apply. And what was great about the university is they're a very career focused driven university. So the interview process was very much part, how can we help you? But I was quite lucky that I turned up to the open day, met Richard Cheshire and Robert Marston, and they offered me a place there and then.
Yeah, well done. Jefferson, thank you very much for speaking with us today, and best of luck with your panto career. That was Jefferson Parlett then. They're one of only 4 graduates from the world's first master's degree in panto.
Moncrief, weekdays at 2 p.m. on Newstalk.